I don't care to set world records. Play games for fun, dude.
I'm a psycho. I play hundreds and hundreds of hours of these games. We talk about a lot of weird things on this podcast. I didn't let the whole thing spin out, but it's all right. We're going to get used to it. The timing is a little weird on the intro, guys. What is up, guys?
What's going on?
What's up, chat?
We have a very special episode today. We have a special episode because the Day of Reckoning just happened.
It was reckoned.
Everything was wrecked. Wheel mode, aka direct mode, which by the way are not the same thing, came out this week. We had an update, we had a new playlist, we had a bunch of I guess you can't say a bunch of new content, right? There really wasn't, but anyways, we'll get into it. Kyle, I need to hear from you first because you had a very rough update night, and I think we should all go through that first. So take me through the plan. Okay.
All right. So the plan was I was just going to stay up for the update. That was it. Just like a regular summit night.
Right.
And then we saw, they extended the last season. And I was like, oh, okay, it's still not too late. It'll be like 3 a.m. my time or something by the time it's done. But then once that ended, then there was a 4-hour maintenance. And I was like, damn.
In which
whatever.
Everything was offline.
I'm just gonna stay up. Whatever, it's fine. And then that got extended another hour, 3 times or something. I ended up going to bed till 12 the next day.
Dude. Okay, so you were up the next night though, because I remember you were in the stream chat yesterday. Where did you sleep? What happened? You slept at 12?
I slept from 12 to 4:30 ish.
Okay. That's it, dude? I thought for sure you would have slept till 6 or 7.
Well, I didn't want to not completely screw up my sleep schedule.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to sleep all day and then be up that same time the next night. So I just slept a little bit.
Were you able to get to bed at a decent time last night though?
Yeah, I went to bed at I don't know what time I got off. So maybe 2:30, somewhere around there.
No,
Yeah, it was a little bit earlier than we.
Was it? Okay, something like that.
No, it was earlier than what we usually go to.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, you guys are up late sometimes, dude.
Sometimes
that's when the action's happening, man.
Dude. I went to bed at a normal time, which is still late for me. Usually I go to bed around 2. Last night I went to bed at 3. And you guys were up for another hour? No. Oh, wait. Another hour and a half?
Last night? Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a late night.
It was light.
It was a light night, yeah. Because the sun came up.
Yeah. Oh.
Maybe for Simgii, not me though, dude.
Oh yeah, because I see the sun before you guys.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, because you're an hour earlier on the East Coast, so. Yeah. How often when we're up that the sun comes up, how often do you stay up all night until the sun comes up?
More than I should.
What time do you wake up the next day though?
Like
2?
well, it depends on how rough the night was.
Yeah. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I like it. Who's in chat today? Chemical Romance, sorry bro, some random dude, and Automotive Guy, and Sworn Enemy.
Yo.
What is up, guys? How are you guys doing? Oh, we got a Wii U sighting as well. Oh, look who we have here. The cheaters who placed ahead of Trigger. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
I did only one of these 2 cheaters above me placed ahead of me, right?
Oh, so
depending on what?
I guess depending on the race, right? I think you had 1 or 2 races that were more or better.
Yeah.
Seems like you.
Yeah. Okay.
Like those 2. Yeah.
There was 2.
Anyways. Yeah, the cheaters. So this week, what'd you guys think of the summit? Just curious. I mean,
Recycled.
Yeah.
This summit I actually
Yeah.
did not enjoy.
Really?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty just bad. I don't know. I don't like the old like muscle cars.
Yeah, me too. I don't
The
like
way I
them
had to
either.
use like the Lime Edition. Like yeah, it's fast, but I don't like the way it felt. I didn't really have a tune on it though. I just kind of ran
Just
with it,
ran
so
with it.
that's on me.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, but I mean,
And
even if you did have a
the other one
tune,
was terrible.
even if you did have a tune, bro, it wouldn't have been. It was,
Mhm.
it was god awful. That car is just horrendous.
Yeah, I liked the first race with the new Porsche. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, that was
yeah, that was
fun.
nice.
I did like
And
that
then-
race.
Yeah, and then the 993 races were pretty good, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It's all just stuff we've done.
Yeah.
I think
over
you
and
enjoyed the escapes, honestly. I think that was something that you did say.
The escapes. I just gave up on them both. I'm only gonna redo them if by some chance I'm close to not being in platinum, but I
Yeah.
don't know.
I
We'll see.
wonder. I wonder how many people are in your shoes, Steven. I think a lot actually. That just like they're good enough to get platinum every week, and they literally just do every event one time. They don't spend any time trying to optimize their lines or their scores or anything like that. They just do it once, and then that's it. And they drop the game until next week.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of those players in the top 10,000.
Yeah.
I mean,
dude.
how could there not be, right? Once you're at that position where you've got basically all of the legendary parts you need, and there's not really a lot for you to do, what are you gonna do in the game? Like besides grand racing, which does get old.
Mhm.
That's
Mhm.
it. Tuesday night
yeah.
summits or Wednesday, for some people, and that's it. And then you're done. It's basically how I play the crew 2. Like I don't play the crew 2 at all until the new summit. And then sometime between like I don't know, like Tuesday when it refreshes and like Sunday, I'll go in and do the summit. And that's it. I check in and check out. It's kind of weird. I wonder how many people are like that. There's got to be a bunch.
This is probably a bunch, yeah. I don't know. I mean, maybe now, I don't know. I might get back into, occasionally jumping in some grand races and stuff.
Yeah.
They added a bunch of new cars. I had fun doing that on stream last night when we were just doing grand racing,
Yeah.
just using the random new cars that they added.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun.
Yeah, it was good. I was just really trying not to get DNF by Goliath.
Yeah. dude.
That was what. And then Simgii, you were in there too. And then it was like, well, hopefully one of them crashes out before they both get to the front, because then you guys are slipping together. We're toast. Like I'm in a Mini Cooper and there's just no chance.
Yeah.
I'm
And then
so
mine was-
lucky that you weren't in that race, Simgii.
Yeah, no, it was.
Did you get to watch that race, by the way, where I was in the Mini?
Were you in the Mini?
The old one, the old Mini in Street 1.
No, I did not.
Dude, if Goliath didn't crash, it would have been, I think I would have maybe barely made it by like 3 seconds. He would have DNF'd me.
Because that one ended in Rally Raid, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And
Remember you
it was,
mentioned that.
and I didn't drive that bad. I think I had one crash in the hypercar. That was it. One crash, and that was it. And usually you can make one mistake or you get driven off the road or whatever. You have to reset, and you're okay. It's not a problem. But the Mini was so slow that I couldn't catch up to anybody. All the people that were in the middle of the pack crashing and resetting and going, I couldn't keep up with them. And that experience right there, sorry to everyone, but that experience right there made me not want to do the video on that car. I just decided it's not happening. I'm going to put out my tune and that's it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to make that video. It feels like a waste, bro. It's such a bad car. It's such a bad car. But anyways, Automotive Guy wants to know how we avoid rammers in the first corner of chaos. That's a good question.
I don't. I just
Steven
don't.
is the rammer.
Steven is
I-
the
Steven
rammer.
is the
I just,
rammer.
I just accept it. Like, all right,
It's
I'm
gonna
gonna
happen. See what happens. Yeah.
die. I kind of gave up on like sweating and grand racing. I just kind of try to
That's
do. I like do the best I can.
Okay.
It's not like I'm not trying, but I'm not like I gotta win this race. Like,
Yeah, but I mean, when we have guys like Simgii and Goliath in there, it's tough. It's very tough to win a race when they're
yeah,
there.
it's true.
So I do the same things. Like mentally I kind of like, okay, I'm gonna do the best I can. Hopefully I get top 5. I'll be all right. And you actually did great on a few races. You were
the first few races.
You
I was, like,
lasted.
top 3.
You were in slip and top 3 for like 90% of the race, and then slowly it got worse and worse.
I had a fun race with Simgii and Rhino. I was up there with them for a little bit of the race, and then Simgii died.
Yeah.
Rhino grabbed some gutter like top speed, like a weird like more open corner that you kind of have to slow down for. Like he grabbed the gutter and just threw the gap on me, and then I messed up and Simgii caught me, and then I was like, all right, dude.
Yeah.
It's the end of it.
Yeah. Wanzi, what's going on, man? How are you? How are you? Trigger, did you see the Pants Custom R34 in the game? I saw a clip of his R34. I think it looks cool. I mean, it looks like an R34 with a wide body on it, which is what I expected. I mean, it's gonna be super JDM, right? But yeah, that's cool. Dude, forget about what it looks like. I don't care. It could look like a clown car. I don't care. But I think it's really dope that he got a car in the game. It's awesome. Pretty amazing, actually. It's it's neat for sure. Random dude, I come to the conclusion that I'm not caring for direct mode, says random dude. And yeah, this actually we can get into it. So before we started here, I was telling you guys I want to talk about the comments. Now, not on my channel because I have not made a direct mode video yet, but it is coming. But there's been some direct mode videos out there by the you know, the YouTubers and the internets, and I am reading the comments and it makes me, I don't know, I literally yelled out loud explaining this to Stacy earlier, but people the vast majority of the comments, like some of them are like pretty reasonable and like, you know, coming at it from a level-headed place, as some comments are, but the vast majority of the comments are something to the effect of direct mode isn't for me. It's too hard, it's too twitchy, it's too hard, it's too fast, it's too sensitive. Like I'm not gonna try to learn that. The vast majority, and these comments are on don't get me started. Sorry. The vast majority of these comments are like that, and they're on videos that are meant for obviously a wider audience, not necessarily the top, you know, racers out there. So these are not people who are extremely skilled players. They may not be bad players either, but who knows at this point? They're just YouTube comments. But the tone of them is what I'm getting at. Dude, this is for them. We've been telling you this. We have been saying this. Direct mode is difficult. It is not a cheat mode. It's not cheats. It's not automatic steering. It's not faster. We have been saying this for so long, for months. This is the worst. The argument we've been having for 2 months within this community is the worst, bro. I cannot stand it. I'm so frustrated that people are finally realizing that we've been saying this. It's difficult. It's not something that every player is using in the top 10,000, and it's not the reason you're not getting platinum, and it's for sure not the reason you're going to get platinum now. Please, everyone, listen. It's hard. It's very difficult to use, and it takes a very skilled individual to use it. There. That was my rant.
Thank you, Mike. We needed that. We needed that.
Now that I woke up my son yelling.
I was getting bronze and I turned on direct mode and I got platinum. I don't know what you're talking
dude.
about.
All right, good.
Saved like 20 seconds, dude.
It's
something.
It's just it frustrates me because I'm a very level person. I try to present the information that I have in a very objective, level-headed way, as most facts as possible. And that's what I did with my wheel mode video. And I got a lot of hate. And then, I mean, I just really didn't touch the subject too much after that. Like we did on podcasts and stuff, but not in terms of videos. And I'm just like, guys, we've been telling you this for a long time, dude. We've been since the whole like cheater argument has been happening. It's not even about that, dude. It's not cheating. It's not about cheating or not cheating. It's the fact that they're at the very, very top of the game, the very highest, the best players in the game. Those players, there's a big difference between someone with a wheel and someone with a controller, and that was the whole problem. It had nothing to do with all this BS that the whole community blew up. Now that I got that out of my system.
Deep breath, deep breath.
Yeah. I'm just gonna add on to it though.
Okay.
Like even if you, like someone like me, my skill level, if I started using direct mode and got used to it and, you know, got a hang of it or whatever, I'm still not gonna be as fast as these people that have been using wheel mode before. Like,
no,
their skill level is that high.
It's there.
Like, sure, you can use it and you might be faster than you were previously, you know, after a while of using it.
Yeah.
But it's not like you're gonna be competing with all these guys that are top of every leaderboard and everything.
Yeah.
Still a skill gap.
There is a huge skill gap, and now that it's officially in the game and endorsed, obviously by IVT, like they had no issue with it the entire time. Like they really didn't, and they probably wouldn't have done anything. And this is what I was gonna say right before you piled on to those people. is that as much as the argument frustrated me, and the fact that all these people had a problem with it, and people like, you know, well, Simgii, you weren't using wheel mode, but people were calling, you know, other competitive racers who were cheaters and all this stuff, and all of that was unnecessary, I feel like. But the fact that it was such a huge community argument is the reason why IVT did something. I'm just so glad that they did the right thing, which is to bring wheel and controller closer. That's ultimately what happened here.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's going to be harder. The skill gap is wider now because most people can't use direct mode. It's officially in the game. So a lot of players who may be of higher skill, who can take advantage of it on PlayStation, on Xbox, who weren't using wheel mode because they couldn't, or they weren't on a wheel because they couldn't, now they have direct mode. So now the summits are going to be even harder. And I don't think people realize that. But anyway, that's my rant for right now. I may rant later. I don't know.
Yeah.
The floor is yours.
The floor is yours. Take it away, Simgii.
Go ahead. I'm gonna grab a drink.
Just pass it on.
My damn short headphones.
I mean, we've talked about it quite a bit. I think going on to the point where you said about the skill gaps has now widened even more, because now you have the super cracked players on wheel, super cracked players on direct mode, super cracked players on wheel mode, super cracked players on controller, then the average players on wheel, controller, direct mode, wheel mode. Like there's levels to this now.
Can I
much
interject?
more than before.
Can I interject one little thing? There's players like me and like Steven. We're at like a weird level. We're above average. We're better than most. We win a fair number of grand races. But now I'm faster. 100%. And I'm not talking about direct mode because I'm not using direct mode yet. I still want to get into it, but all I've done is increase the steering sensitivity a little bit. In fact, I was using Steven's settings. Increase the steering sensitivity, increase the wheel lock, and I'm much faster. Like I can control the car way better. So there are people like me that are the skill gap got bigger between me and the people below me as well. But they have access to those settings too. I'm just saying, like people, we all wanted something to happen, right? Yeah. And now it happened, and now the skill gaps are bigger, and it's gonna be, I don't know. I just think. Go ahead. I interrupted you. Go ahead and finish your thoughts.
No, I was just gonna say, it's obviously direct mode and the sensitivity and max lock slider is gonna definitely benefit the game in the long term.
Yeah,
because whenever new players start hopping in, whenever the game like gets a lot more like features for online and end game, which is definitely something that the game needs, then they have no barrier. Like it's just gonna be them learning the game. They don't have to worry about an artificial cap on their speed or their ability to turn, or they have to be forced to buy a wheel, which was the problem, to get the one-to-one steering that otherwise shouldn't have been a thing, as far as like controller and keyboard not having access to it, because keyboard and controller are much more bigger inputs
than wheel
as far as adoption than wheels. There's a lot of people on wheel that play, for example, The Crew, maybe more than other games like a Need for Speed or something like that.
For sure.
But that's just because the support for wheels is there. Now that being said, like I said, the division and like skills, like you said, like you're just using the sensitivity sliders and all that, right? And maybe just you're messing with your linearity and all that. So like that's a whole nother level. And then also then the people that are just staying default like you were before, that creates, I think it makes it more satisfying when people start getting faster. I think it's going to motivate some people more. Like if they're not able to use direct mode and they mess with the sensitivity sliders, they find a way, like some settings that feel good to them. I think that's going to motivate them a little bit more to try a little bit more.
For sure.
And I think the sensitivity and max lock slider will help those that are maybe struggling to get into platinum. They can maybe get it to feel a little bit more better for them. Especially in the cars that don't feel really good, they understeer or whatever. Obviously, if the car feels good, you're gonna do fine. So I think that having the fully cracked direct mode, the sensitivity and max lock and having just like the regular default is dope, because it gives everybody some form of like customization so they can enhance their experience. And if they want to go faster, they can.
Yes, I agree. I think it's important to allow the players to play the way they want to play, and that includes, making the cars feel the way that they want them to feel. I think, honestly, I have to give props to IVT. I mean, not necessarily just for including it as an option, but like what it means for the game. It changes the handling. It changes the way the game feels. It completely changes the user experience, and it's not at all what they designed the game to be. Like there's got to be a team of guys that worked on the handling model and like the physics who are really pissed, because this is not what they wanted. They wanted the game to feel like it did stock, because that's what they put out. That's what they've been working on for years. And with one update and a bunch of people getting upset in order for it to happen, all that work is essentially gone, because direct mode feels nothing like the base game at all. It feels like a completely different game. And even the sensitivity sliders, if you get out of hand with them, if you go crazy with those sliders, you can make it feel like a different game too. But what I like about the sliders is you have the ability to just slightly enhance the responsiveness of the cars, which to me completely changed my mind. Like, I honestly, when you were telling me the settings you had, Steven, it was like I was really cautious. I didn't want to do it. Like, I didn't really want to try it, because I felt like all of my tunes needed to be on default for the majority of the people that are watching. But then I finally decided, let's just give it a shot and see what happens. And now I don't want to go back. Like, I don't want I don't want to go back, because literally every car feels better.
Yeah, it's nice.
And it's not
what's cool
uncontrollable.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. What's cool too is where I have them at right now, like, you can go even more extreme. So I feel like maybe eventually I'll, move it up a little more and see how I feel. And then, that could eventually lead into a direct mode, but I don't think I really want to go that route.
Yeah.
I'm okay with not being on direct mode.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
But I don't need to cheat like all these other guys.
It's freaking cheater mode over here.
Well, the fun thing is you don't even have to use it, and you're still a cheater. I'm just saying.
It's true. He rams a lot. He's just a dirty player. pretty much.
He's a known
I'm a dirty
rammer.
driver.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
I'll own up to it. Just get out of my way.
exactly.
You know,
It's their fault. I don't know why they were
Yeah.
there.
they got in your way.
Exactly. They were in your line.
Yeah,
Mm.
your personal line. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Sworn Enemy says the game is good for competitive and casuals. Adding these new settings will hopefully help casual players get better. That's a great way to look at it, Sworn Enemy. I think you're right. I definitely see it that way. I think the settings only can increase the skill ceiling, basically, and it's giving the players that were knocking their head up against that ceiling, like Simgii, who was obviously skilled enough to use, a wheel mode or direct mode, but couldn't take advantage of it under principle. And then that gives him the room to flex. And then you have the people who now have a higher ceiling for a casual racer as well. So yeah, I think it's all around. I think it's a good thing. And I do have to give it up to IBT, because it's not easy to do that type of a change, to really make it's a massive change. Even though it's 3 settings, it changes the entire experience of the cars.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm happy that they decided to do it, but I am frustrated with the general community who's like, yeah, direct mode's like, can't use that. Like, yeah, 2 months ago you were saying how everybody's cheating. Now you're like,
or all the comments are, when they got leaked and they're like, oh, once I get direct mode, all you PC guys watch out. And this and that. It's like, okay, dude. All right.
yeah, I mean,
that backfired real quick, didn't it?
yeah,
Can't wait till I get direct mode so I can get platinum. It's like, all right, dude.
that's fine.
I hope,
I mean,
and I hope that the people that thought it was gonna help them tremendously, I hope they do improve with it. Like, I really do.
they're probably
I want the best for you guys.
yeah, of course. I wish the best for
Feel
everybody.
free.
But I think the majority of players are probably going to fall somewhere in the realm of where I am, which is just increasing your steering sensitivity, your max lock, maybe reducing your dead zone, and then maybe playing with the linearity or not. I mean, maybe just leave it where it is. People are just going to find some sort of happy medium that feels good to them. And to be honest, when it comes to racing games, this has been my experience, and you can talk on yours, Simgii, but my experience is there's two things that can happen. You can either play the game the way it was designed and get used to that, and just that's how it feels to you, and you finally over time you get better, or you change settings to make it feel more like what you want, and then you get used to that and you get better. But ultimately, it's all about time behind the wheel with the same thing over and over again, whatever that same thing is.
That's kind of what I do. So when I started playing MotorFest, I didn't have a lot of tunes on my cars. I just left the default, and mainly I think what helped me with doing that was I kind of got used to the car as it was, and I got used to the physics.
Yeah.
And then when I got used to that and I made the car feel better, it was easy.
Yeah.
I mean, it was because I dealt with it when it felt like kind of like, oh, it felt okay, but something like, the bumps or whatever. So I think that once you kind of have that foundation, then I think that's when you can really take advantage of customizing the settings. And then on top of that, like, just make it feel the way that you feel like there's something missing. Like, oh, the car is just like, it's just not as snappy, or just like the bumps, like it always dies. Like, because suspension, like, I mean, you can really make a car like handle the city sections, for example, much better.
Yep.
Because there's a lot of like curves and everything that can throw your car off.
Yep.
Especially with direct mode. Don't even get me started on that one. But yeah, you have to find that, like you said, the median that it feels good to you. And if you have that general understanding of the game, then that's when you can really start seeing some improvement.
Definitely. I feel that 100%, because I've only been playing on default since the game came out. And it wasn't until yesterday that I changed any of the settings in the control panel. Like not even dead zone, linearity, nothing. I touched nothing from day
Disgusting.
one until yesterday. And what I feel like is that it made it easy. As soon as I switched to those settings, I was like, oh, this feels great. Dude, this is...
Wait, my cars are turning?
The car turns when I say turn? There is one thing, though, with those settings. I was going to tell you, Steven, because this is basically your settings. But I was going to tell you, I don't know if you noticed it, but in high-speed turn situations, like really high-speed turns, if you if you lock the wheel, the car... you can see the wheel lock and then the car slides. I don't know if you noticed that.
No, that's what I was saying when we were grand racing, where I haven't really done any like high speed. I didn't really run into that too much in those tracks that we were doing. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I just threw.
It's just from it's user error, because I wouldn't change the max lock because I like where it is, especially on like Alpha GP. It's crazy. But on like hypercar, specifically high speed turns, you can lock the wheels because you've basically opened up your max lock at a high speed. So you lock the wheels and then the car just slides. But it's definitely like user error. Like you're turning too hard. Basically, you're exceeding the limits of the car, which is possible. That's basically what direct mode is allowing you to do. It's basically not removing all limits to the car, and then it's up to you to drive it correctly. But I don't know. It's so much better. The settings are so much better. Dude.
Yeah, it feels great.
I don't want to go back. I definitely don't.
I will say a point that I saw quite a bit of people making was they're saying that they wish direct mode didn't come out, and I found that to be interesting. Because if it doesn't, so if let's say they can't handle direct mode for some people, or some people they can, but just don't like it. Because I mean that's something as well.
Sure.
If someone doesn't like how it feels or anything like that, it's just like, okay, I have to literally be precision, like focused every time just to like survive. Not even win.
Yeah.
Just survive.
I feel that.
I can get that, but at the same time, I feel like a rebuttal to that would just be like, you'd basically be fine with the game being pay to win. Obviously, it wouldn't be paid.
You're not paying IVT or Ubisoft.
Yeah, but you're paying for
Logitech or whatever.
Literally,
yeah.
Once you plug in the wheel, you automatically have one-to-one steering. It's that simple.
Yes.
And that's something that, for a racing game, like imagine if Forza, right? Imagine if Forza had that, like that same gap. Like, okay, if you're on a wheel, like I think it would be a little bit more like acceptable for Forza because it's more sim.
Yeah.
You know, it's still Simcade, but it's,
you
know, it's more sim.
Yeah.
But like imagine if, let's say, keyboard, you know, it was faster.
Sure.
You know, and then controller and wheel was just at a huge disadvantage just because keyboard had an automatic like one-to-one steering like that.
Exactly.
People would be like, "What?" I have to get it. Like people on PC have a keyboard, but it would be stupid.
Yeah, it'd be like, "Oh, now I have to be a PC player to be the fastest." Like what? That doesn't make any sense. I had to plug in
a keyboard to my PlayStation, I mean my Xbox, just
to figure this out.
Yeah.
People will be like, "What is this? Fix it."
Yeah, exactly. So it's the same thing. Like
it's the same thing.
Yeah, but the only thing is, wheel is much more expensive. Like,
of course,
$300 easily.
Yeah, you can get a $5 keyboard at the Dollar Tree. Like
exactly. So it would be even more of a joke.
It'd be even more of a joke. But this is the point that I was trying to make earlier. Is that that's the issue. The issue was the difference between the two inputs. But the entire community, including some colleagues of mine, were making it all about cheating, and it wasn't about that at all. Like, even if you just say, okay, yes, it's cheating, whether you believe it or not, it still is not relevant because the issue was the difference between wheel and controller. That's the issue. So the argument really should have been centered around whether or not IVT thought that wheels should have an advantage. That's where the argument should have been had, but it wasn't. It was all about cheating. But
clearly they also saw that.
Yes, they thought it was a problem. Yeah. Interesting. I wonder if other games would have had, if they had an issue like this, would they have acted in the way that IVT did, which was fairly quick, I would say. I mean, it was an issue basically at the beginning-ish of season 2. I mean, it was an issue before that, but the height of like the public outrage was in season 2, and then in season 3, the next big update, they implemented it. Not only did they implement it, but in between, this is how crazy it was. In between them implementing it for the testers, which was, this was the end of February, I think. I think it was the end. It was the end of February, or the middle of February. They had the test servers up, and they had it in there for us to mess around with. And in between that and the update coming out, which was the 11th or whatever.
Yeah.
They implemented the sliders. They weren't there. It was like, whoa, that is fast, dude. In 2 weeks, they were able to figure that out and add those in and have it ready for season 3. That's incredible. Mm-hmm. It's incredible. So I'm pretty happy. I'm happy they did it.
About the point that you said about other games having like an issue like this, there's actually another game, and I've told you about this and told Steven as well. There's another game under Ubisoft that has a issue with a specific input having an advantage over the rest of them. So if you guys know, Trackmania, huge game, super competitive, all that. They added old cars from some of the older Trackmania games. Now those cars handle very different than the specific car that's in Trackmania 2020, and those cars are much more viable. You can be more faster with it on analog devices. So wheel, controller, and analog keyboard. But if you use like a regular keyboard, a membrane and all that, or anything like that,
mechanical or whatever,
at disadvantage. And the thing is, the majority of the player base is on keyboard, regular keyboard. Like, I mean, so they're basically adding. They added 2 cars so far. They added 2 cars. They're gonna add more. There's 2 cars that the majority of the player base is at a serious disadvantage if they don't use an analog device when time hunting, when competing, and all that. They did address it publicly. They did say they noticed it and they're gonna look into it, but they're still dealing with that.
Yeah,
like it's not like IVT. They already handled it.
Yeah, they handled it.
And Deo, which is the company, the publisher for the Trackmania, has not at all.
Mm-hmm. It's wild. I mean, it's like I said, I'm shocked, and because I don't even know. I think I said I don't think they're going to do anything about it. I might have said that on a podcast. I didn't say it in my wheel mode video, but I feel like I said it sometime. Anyway, I didn't think they were going to do anything. I thought it would just remain the way it was, because they had this exact same issue in the Crew 2. And they didn't do anything for 5-6 years, and they still haven't done anything with the Crew 2. So I don't know.
Well, but Crew 2's dead now or something like that, right? Just kidding.
No, dude, didn't you see it? There's like 400 cars coming. I don't know what you mean.
400 cars,
Man.
I don't know. Cheers to Chevy 34, 486 horsepower, dude. Chevy, what's going on, man? How are you? Some random dude says direct mode isn't as simple as picking it up and instantly getting good. It's not, but that was the thought of a lot of people, which is hilarious to me.
There was a lot of people that thought it was free pace.
Yes, they thought it was.
We tried telling everybody, man.
We did.
We tried our best.
And to be honest, I'm not like. This isn't like me or you, like us going like, we told you so, even though I just ranted and told everybody I told you so. It's not necessarily that exactly. But it
that's
is,
what I'm saying.
That's exactly what you're saying. But
it's like I'm standing on business.
I'm tired of this.
I don't know. I feel like people didn't trust that we were trying to give objective information about the actual issue.
Yeah, we just got called like defending cheating.
Defending cheating. People
We
attacked
were
us all the
defeating-
time.
We were defending cheaters and
Yeah.
stuff, and it was like, all right, dude.
Yeah, look,
I mean,
Goliath says it right there. All the people that ran their mouth about cheating are quiet now. Exactly.
Yeah,
So,
because they tried it and got gapped. Yep.
yeah.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying, man. It's like everybody try it. Just put it
Well,
on, try it, and
I-
see how good you are.
I encourage everybody to try
Good.
it. I encourage everybody to
Yeah.
go back and watch my wheel mode video, because I think now my wheel mode video is even better than it was when it came out. Because the last thing I said, I don't know if you remember, Simgii, but the last thing I said in that wheel mode video was, we need to stop attacking everybody for cheating, and we need to work together as a community to get IVT to do something about it. Like, that's what we need to do. Either they fix it or they add it to the game, or they come out and say, hey, look, this is how we designed the game. Wheel
This is what we
should be
want.
faster, and this is how we want this game to be played. It's a better, faster experience on a wheel, and that's how we want it. And if they did come out and say that, to be really honest, I would have dropped. That's it. It's done. If they came out and said that, it's done.
Yeah.
Their argument's over, because that's
Yeah.
how they want the game to be played.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But it's not. They implemented it. So if you go back and watch that, I feel like I was trying to bring the community together a little bit. I was trying to like stop the hate. Let's stop arguing with each other about cheating, because it's not really about that.
Mm-hmm. That's why I
And here we
tried
are.
out. That's why I tried the wheel mode out for the few days that I did.
Yeah.
Was because it blew up and everybody was talking about how it's cheating, and then we talked to some of the people that were using it.
Yeah.
So then I was like, okay, well, let me just install it and just see what it's like. And then after using it for a few days, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, like nobody's gonna be able to use this unless they're really good.
Yeah.
But because it blew up so big and everything, everybody just thought every time they lose is like, oh, this guy's using wheel mode. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah. Definitely.
I'm like really curious. I wonder what the actual number of people were that were
We're
actually,
actually using wheel mode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's got to
I
be
don't know.
low, dude.
It can't be that much, because as soon as if you're a casual player and you go to try it, you're like, what is this, dude? You know what I mean?
I think safely, like when at the amount of people that stick with wheel mode, probably like less than 200 max.
Oh,
Max,
not
dude.
even, dude. Yeah, I mean that's like
max.
a very
remember, you
generous
gotta-
max.
Yeah, it's very generous. But so think about that. Like out of a 10,000 on the platinum,
Hold on,
that
we're
many
gonna do
people
math.
only.
We're gonna do math.
Oh, here we go.
Go ahead, keep talking. I'm gonna tell you what percentage of people that is.
Because obviously there's people that use wheel mode. We're talking about season 2.
Yeah.
We're not talking about season 3.
Yeah.
Those people that were using wheel mode and that maybe weren't at the top of the leaderboards, so they're just gonna look normal, because like they're not outliers as far as like, okay, like they're 3 seconds faster than everybody else.
Right.
They're
Mhm.
just in between, but they're
Right.
still on wheel mode, and you can't tell. I mean, you
That's
can't. You
true.
couldn't even tell between a wheel mode player and a wheel player, which I found hilarious. I was like, people would say, "Oh, he's using wheel mode." No, that person's on a wheel. You can't
Yeah.
even tell.
No,
Mhm.
Yeah, you can.
no, you can't tell. It is if we're just talking about platinum, that's 2%. If we're talking about the summits at their peak, which was around 100,000 people, like some of the summits you had about 100,000 participants, we're talking about 0.2% of the players. So it's a crazy small number of people, and I don't even think it was 200, to be honest with you. I mean, I think maybe
I'm just-
100, maybe
Yeah.
100 players, and out of those 100 players, like the top 20 maybe were actually like people we knew for a fact were there and on the leaderboards.
Yeah, but they were there beforehand.
Of
before
course,
wheel mode.
those are the same
Exactly.
top 20 that were there before wheel mode.
That's been the other argument we've been trying to make, is like these people that are actually using the wheel mode, they've been gapping and beating everybody before they even installed the wheel mode.
Yeah,
Nah,
They
bro.
put the wheel mode
they got
on.
good because of wheel mode, bro. What are you talking about?
Yeah. They put the wheel mode on because a few people came over on wheel and were putting the gap on there, and they're like, wait a minute, how's this happening?
It's like, whoa,
calm
what's
down.
going on here?
and DS Awesome wants to know if he just joined an XR Cheat stream. I think he did. This is,
Yes.
by the way, this stream is sponsored by xrcheats.com. Use
Yep,
code
yep.
Simgii for Was it 10% off now or 20%? What is it?
Yeah, 10% off, but we're gonna be
Right.
doing, since the holidays, some holidays coming up, we're gonna do some special sales. So just stay tuned,
We
you
got
know,
an
because
Easter
you
sale
know,
coming your way.
Yep, yep.
Easter sale on XR cheats. Anyway, let's move into your experience with wheel mode, Simgii. I want to know what. I guess I gotta stop saying wheel mode. It is direct mode now. You just take me through just the adjustment, because you're probably not an example that anyone's gonna really relate to necessarily, but like you stuck with regular controller for forever.
Too long, too long, too
And
long.
how was the transition? Like what did you feel?
Okay, so once they announced publicly that direct mode is coming,
Yeah.
I started using wheel mode, started to get used to it. Obviously I don't count the TTS and all that.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want, when we did the first one, I didn't want to like use that and then
Get
go back
used
to regular
it.
steering.
Yeah.
Because it would have felt horrible.
Yeah.
So I started like a weekish before season 3. Kind of started getting the muscle memory and all that. Obviously, season 2 wheel mode is different than season 3 wheel mode and direct mode, and then wheel as well.
We can get into that too. We'll get into that too.
Yeah, so that needs to be said because they handled totally different.
Yes.
So what I got used to is slightly different than what I'm used to now. So before I had, and I think this is important for everybody to know, the way I had my settings, and a lot of people were like, oh, this is super sensitive for controller, right? Even though I had a filter. I had 0 linearity, like I had basically no dead zone, like it was straight, just raw, as fast as I can be on regular controller.
Yeah.
So, and I would have to tap steer. That's the best way I was able to manage it and be consistent with tap steering. With wheel mode, you can't tap steer because remember, no dead zone, no anything. It's just pure 1-to-1 steering.
As soon as you move that stick at all,
you're going.
Your wheel is turning.
Yeah. So you have to smooth steer. So in Need for Speed Heat specifically, I kind of got used to smooth steering. Obviously like going around high speed turns and all that. So I kind of just had to get readjusted with the physics and all that for this game because it's slightly different. So I had to readjust with the muscle memory. That's one thing that we were talking about when you were messing with the sensitivity sliders.
Yeah.
You have to mess with your muscle memory.
Yes.
And retrain yourself basically, even though you know the game. Yeah. Like your brain is telling you, oh, turn now, and you have to turn later or earlier. Yes. It's So that was the main thing that I had to get used to was smooth steering, as well as some of the classes they're easy to get used to. Like Street Tier 1, easy. Street Tier 2, easy. The ones that were harder were Hyper. Yeah. Agera. Hyper Agera. I mean, talk about the car that has probably the highest skill ceiling is definitely the Agera. Yes. So that took me a while. I mean, still to today. I mean, I'm not the best with it, so that goes to show like it's kind of hard. So Hyper I had to get really used to. Also off-road. If you guys have not used direct mode yet for season 3, it's off-road with the bumps. It's tough. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, because think about it. Again, 1-to-1 steering. You have instant like full lock if you wanted to.
If you want it, yep. So
if you panic off-road, you're on a bump and you're about to land and you turn, you're getting sent all the way to the right. So you have to. There's a lot of discipline to keep your stick under control.
I have none of that, by the way. Yeah. And even on these little these little settings that I have now, which is just a little bit of increased sensitivity and a little bit of increased max lock, trying some of the rally cars, I am so frustrated. I couldn't even. I tried the Maxi and I was testing it today. I couldn't drive it. I couldn't drive it. The suspension's so stiff. Every single bump, I was like this. Yep. I couldn't drive it. I was like, dude, I have to change the max lock in order to actually test this car, and that was like super frustrating because I just was overcorrecting left and right, and then you're just like you're done. So it's interesting, but go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good. I mean, that's a good point. So I mean, and like you said, you're not even on direct mode.
No, I'm not even on direct mode. That's just the setting. Yeah. That's just the steering sensitivity.
Yeah. So that was definitely something, is the discipline, and also when when I race, like if I just hop on and I just click play and I race, the lobbies for the most part is pretty casual. So I mean, I get out ahead like pretty quickly, and I just race.
Yeah.
But when you introduce contacts and you're in a slipstream pack, it's a whole nother ballpark.
Oh, it's crazy, bro.
Mhm.
Because you don't get the line that you want to every time.
No.
You have to adjust.
Constantly.
Yes, and think about it again.
Muscle memory.
So people remember, you have to have a lot of discipline to keep your stick under control.
Yes.
If you get bumped wide and then you mentally say, "Oh, I gotta recorrect," and then you're done.
Dude, we're talking about fractions of millimeters in movement of your stick.
Yeah.
The tiniest bit of movement and you're off the track.
Yeah.
Yep.
Especially when you're trying to go
just-
fast.
Yep, turning just a tiny bit too fast to one side, the whole thing's just spinning
No,
out.
you can
gone.
instant counter steer if you wanted.
Mhm.
That's the scary part.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so overall, would you say the transition is exactly like you expected? Is it harder than you expected? Is it easier?
I think it was exactly what I expected.
Okay.
I leading up to that, I had like well over 800 hours on the game, so I kind of understood the physics, understood what I needed to do. And one thing that if anybody in the chat tried direct mode, one thing you would probably agree with, the gutters are your safe haven. When you get into a gutter, you are safe, you're chilling, that's your break. That's your break for the match. Right, you're doing the entire grand race. You get in those gutters, you're stuck. Oh,
It's
you're
nice.
just
You're
like,
oh,
okay,
this is good.
this is good. Like this is my break from the chaos, because once you get out of that gutter, you don't have that grip,
Yeah.
and you gotta actually actually focus up.
survive to the next corner. You're just like, come on.
Yeah. So the gutters are definitely a safe haven.
Yeah.
But it definitely was what I expected. Especially because I speak to a lot of the people that used it. I'm teammates with a lot of the people that did use it. So I watched a lot of gameplay.
Talk to them.
I've watched their live streams all the time, so I've seen what you have to do. I've seen the lines they take, and especially like for example, with live streams and videos, he has the controller overlay, which that's something, and that's why I have my controller overlay as well. It gives you so much information.
Yeah.
Especially if you're trying to learn. So if I told you, if I were to say trigger on direct mode, just smooth steer. I just told you that. You probably it would take a bit for you to kind of figure out exactly what you have to do. Yeah. But you like, okay, it's smooth steer, and you're gonna maybe just go smooth to the left. But no, you have to go up, and then use the ring of the controller to easily smooth out your things, so you don't make any sudden adjustments.
Yep.
So that definitely helped out a lot. Going back and watching those, looking at good races, seeing how people just where they placing their cars when they're in traffic, whatever. So it was exactly what I expected, especially after the week that I tried it out on wheel mode, and then when season 3 came out,
there's a whole
it was
new
totally
adjustment.
Different. Yeah, because I don't know if you want to explain that. Or
So we should actually, because I don't know if everyone knows this. I tried to talk about it a little bit in my everything new video. It was a very short time that I spent on the direct mode settings, but basically direct mode which is a season 3 implementation of wheel mode in season 3 or season 2, is different than direct mode in season 3. It's a completely different thing. The back end of the car is way more slippy in season 3, and it's because they changed the way wheel steering works to make it much more comparable to the direct mode that they added. So direct mode is for the controller players, and obviously the wheel steering is for the wheel players or wheel mode players, which I think are just going to be an extinct species at this point. Those two things are basically exactly the same now. If you're on a wheel, if you're on direct mode, you have a very loose rear wheels. But in season 2, direct mode or wheel mode was actually fairly grippy. Yeah, it was fairly grippy. So you could be flicking the car back and forth and never really lose control. You never felt like you were out of control. And that was my experience too, because I tested it with a wheel with 180-degree rotation. And I had that same experience. I could turn the wheel back and forth and never feel like I was going to lose control of the car. But now, playing in season 3, you turn the wheel like that and you're going to lose the back end real fast. So to me, because of that change, now you had to readjust because you got used that week that you were on wheel mode, you got used to it. And then all of a sudden it's like they pulled the rug out from under you, like, here, try this. Now you're on skates and you're like, whoa.
Yeah, they threw some ice under my freaking car and they're like,
exactly.
yeah,
try that. So you had to readjust.
Yeah, I had to readjust to that. So it's the same principle for wheel mode is still present with direct mode.
Yeah.
Super sensitive, so you have to be smooth steer, same thing. The only thing is your inputs are, if it feels like they're more what is the word, they're more exaggerated. So if I did 10% steering on wheel mode, I'll be fine because obviously it's grippy. But on direct mode, 10% feels more.
Yeah, it feels like the car is
more sensitive.
Steering more. Yeah.
Yeah. So if, again, muscle memory, turn this much. No, like especially in Nagara, that was definitely. And you tried it.
I tried it. It's
wheel.
undrivable for me.
Yeah. Trigger tried flicking left to right. Just once.
Just one time. I couldn't complete a left to right at all. I would turn left and my car.
Yeah.
I'm in the buildings.
Yeah.
I literally couldn't drive it. There's no way.
So and again, that was on a wheel with 180 degrees of rotation. So imagine on a stick.
And that has so much more control, like so much you can micro adjust.
You have more range.
I have more range. Yeah, it's more detailed, I guess. And so as opposed to a little tiny stick.
Yeah, so like think about the amount of so if I tried to flick,
know, dude.
I'll go quicker off the road.
Exactly.
So yeah, I mean it was again, it just really direct mode, wheel sensitivity maxed out, low linearity just to get like faster steering with the dead zone.
Mm-hmm.
They all have one thing in common, and that's patience. I mean, that's one thing, like, because I bet when you started using it, like you were just saying, you needed to have patience for that freaking maxi.
Yeah.
So
I didn't though. I just quit. I just used a different car.
Well, if somebody wanted to,
like...
actually, get through it, they would have to,
Yeah, I just gave up and I just tested the Peugeot instead. I said I don't want to test that one anymore. We'll come back to it.
Yeah. So
So by the way, guys, video on the Peugeot dropping tomorrow.
Shameless plug.
Not the maxi though. That will wait.
Yeah. No rush.
Yeah.
But yeah, just patience, discipline with your stick.
Yeah.
And also one thing about what you said earlier about like all the tunes, like you were scared that they were basically going to be in the bin because like what you would be comfortable with, like your steering, whatever, would make the cars either feel worse or it would make people that stay on regular default settings
maybe they
start
won't
using
like
your
tunes.
newer tunes.
Yes.
They might not like those
tunes. Not
like honestly, I think the main thing is if the car feels good, any of the inputs it's gonna feel good. Now it might feel better, it might feel worse because it's too good.
Right.
But for the most part, I mean, Steven, when you tried wheel mode, did you try any cars that felt ass, like the Bolide or anything like that?
All right, I take offense to this for a second. Hold on.
Hold up.
The Bolide is not terrible.
It is.
I did not. I didn't try any of those cars. I was just using the cars that I would normally use. Because I wasn't going into like I'm just gonna be, you know, using wheel mode now. I just wanted to get a feel for it and understand what it actually was, so I can have an actual opinion on something instead of
Sure.
coming on a video and calling everybody cheaters
That's
and not
disgusting,
liking it.
bro.
My bad. You know,
That is
my bad.
That's your
My
bad. That's honestly your bad. Chemical romance
was
over here
graphic.
telling you to be patient. Now you're talking about it on a video, bro. That's just all right.
But basically the point I was gonna make is the cars that feel bad, they're still gonna feel bad on direct mode, wheel mode,
Yeah.
wheel, whatever. Like the cars
Yeah,
that
I
are super
seen
heavy, yeah, they're still gonna feel bad.
I seen that. Was that on Goliath's video when he did the bleed
Yeah.
and just drove straight?
Yes.
Yeah,
It was, right?
think it was-
Yeah, dude, that's crazy.
yeah. I mean, the car. I mean, apart from the bleed,
All right, all right,
the,
all right.
the
Benji.
cars. Hey, listen, I gotta speak facts, okay? It's bad. But the cars
Alright.
that don't feel good, you're not gonna feel good with direct mode.
No.
Now you'll be able to turn quicker,
Yeah.
like get the full lock quicker, but the car is still gonna have those same characteristics.
Yeah.
And that's what makes having a good pro settings that feel good to you.
Yeah.
Is gonna come in.
Yeah.
So,
I think going forward, and I've been trying to do this a little bit more often, instead of just running through the pro settings in these videos, which is what I used to do, I think what I need to do is provide some reasoning as to why I've selected each of these settings, or at least the main ones, and give viewers some idea of how to change those in order to make it feel a certain way. Like if you go this way with it, you'll feel this. If you go this way with it, it'll feel like this. And so adjust these as necessary. I think that's probably the most reasonable way to go about it, and then give everyone my controller settings that I use, and everything else, you know, where the chips fall, that's where they will lay. I don't know if that's a saying, but it sounds
I mean, chips do lay, I guess. Yeah.
when they fall, they will lay
fall,
somewhere.
and that's where they lay.
I think something about them being down is a thing too, right? When the chips are down, or is that like, I don't know.
That sounds
don't
like
know.
a gambling
That's
thing.
a different thing, right? Oh, that's gambling.
I don't know. Dude.
It's not. That's what it sounds like.
At the end of the day, the cookie is gonna crumble or something
Oh,
like
okay.
that.
There you go.
Oh.
That's a good one.
Okay.
It's,
Philosophical over
this is
here.
true. I wanted to go back to something that someone asked a little bit ago, and they said, what do you have your dead zone on with direct mode? And correct me if I'm wrong, when you have direct mode enabled, it supersedes all settings. It is literally 1-to-1, no steering filter at all, meaning all of the other settings in that thing don't matter.
Don't matter at all.
For sensitivity and max lock, those don't matter.
Right, but
It's just
as far
like
as
your linearity.
but as far as
right?
You can still
linearity,
set
dead
a
zone.
Dead zone.
Oh,
You can set
okay.
a dead
Okay.
zone.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because you have
I-
linearity,
So-
dead zone, and highest.
I see. So
Oh, that's
okay, so
right,
I was
that's
wrong.
right.
Yeah, I was wrong. So,
Yeah.
I guess answer the question. What is your dead zone with direct mode?
So, for anybody that's trying out dead zone, you want to. Everybody needs to use 100 linearity. That is not. Do not use anything else. I'm telling you.
Okay.
50 is at default, and you're gonna have a horrible experience. You might start getting used to it, but you're not gonna have a fun time.
Yeah.
It's you literally, if you get bumped in a grand race, you're done. I mean, you're not gonna be able to recover,
Yeah.
because what we just said, you're just gonna fly off the road.
Yeah, and you won't be able
So
to adjust.
no. So 100 linearity, that's what you need to use automatically. I use 0 dead zone because, I mean, the point of direct mode is to have 0 dead zone.
To have
no
0
filter.
dead zone. Yeah.
So it kind of counterintuitive to use the
Right.
dead zone, unless you have like stick drift. If you want to add a little bit, dead zone, that's fine. Like 5, 10,
Yeah.
maybe. But apart from that, don't use any of that.
Yeah.
And then highest, you want to use 100. Now, what I've been doing, and I actually have to upload a short about it. If you have a elite controller, you can mess with your stick presets. You obviously, people probably know about this for Call of Duty. You use hair triggers, whatever. So I've been using a preset that smoothens out the middle section of the steering. So like we were just talking about.
Just gives you more range, basically, more range of motion.
Well, yeah, it makes a dent into the middle. So like what I was saying is when I tried direct mode for the first time for release, it was super sensitive for the same amount of input that I would do on wheel mode. So there's not really any, well, there is some spots where you use full steering, like lock up, and usually like AGP and all like that. But for the most part, you don't want to fully lock your wheels.
Right.
In a normal experience, like for the most part, if you take the lines right, you don't need to fully lock.
No.
You shouldn't, because you scrub too much speed.
Right.
So what I did was with the preset, it was like a smooth preset. I'll have to look it up, but you make a little dent. So instead of it just being straight like across diagonally, it gets halfway and then it like smoothens it out.
Okay.
Like, so if you ever get to that point where you're about to get like to full lock, you have a little bit of buffer so you don't like accidentally like go too far instantly.
Right.
So that's definitely something, but for sure, linearity 100, dead zone 0, highest 100.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
There it is, and you too can race like Simgii.
Yeah, all you have to do is turn that on, and then you will be as fast as Simgii.
Yeah, no, you will be faster than me because clearly I have no skill. I use cheater mode. So.
Just cheating.
Yeah.
Sure.
xrcheats.com. Code word
10%
Simgii.
off.
10% off.
Yep.
Yeah.
Holiday sale incoming.
Yeah, details on the Easter sale coming soon.
Oh my goodness. I think we've spent a lot of time on this. I want to know what you guys think of the update in general, actually. I'm curious because I have my own opinion, but I feel like we're kind of all on the same page with this. Where would you rate this update?
Like on a scale of like 1 to 10 or something?
Sure.
I don't know. I think it's a good update. I like everything about it. I give it like a... I give it like an 8.
That's good.
Yeah, I think it's good. I mean, obviously, you know, we wanted more like PvP stuff or something like that, but the things that they actually did, I think was good.
Yeah.
I like the playlist. I think the playlist was actually fun. Adding the sliders and direct mode and everything really evened out the playing field for everybody on all consoles or, you know, platforms rather. That was good. They fixed affixing parts.
Oh my god, thank you.
That's huge. Let's go. And the multi-scrapping thing's great.
Multi-scrapping is great.
I will say the same thing that you disagreed with in everything new, the feats thing.
Yeah.
That sucks, but luckily I've already grinded out the majority of all the parts that I really need, other than I think I have like monster truck and motocross.
Yeah.
And demolition, but I don't
would use.
Yeah, I don't know. We're gonna get screwed in a summit where they're 100%. Gonna make us use demolition cars, but 100%. Whatever. I'll take my gold that week or something. I don't care.
Just a quick interruption, but some random dude's taking off, so take it easy, man. Have a good night.
Yeah, have a good one.
And then we're also getting a couple of 4s in chat. So Chemical Romance thinks it's bad. PT Racer also thinks it's a 4. Sworn Enemy's a little upset with no PvP, no additions to PvP. I'm curious where everyone else rates it in chat. Chat, can you guys give us some ratings? I'm just curious what everyone thinks of it. But go ahead, Simgii. What do you think of the update in general? What would you rate it?
Okay, so specifically the playlist, I would say a 6 because it made me suffer with the Nomad and the freaking bikes. I have to state that. Listen,
come on, man. That race was fun, dude.
I like the playlist.
I liked it.
No, yeah, it was very fun, wasn't? Yeah, use it on direct mode. It was horrible.
It's a switch. Turn it off.
What's the point in that? I'm trying to go fast. I'm trying to go fast.
All right, fair enough. That car probably felt really bad on direct mode.
I put too many freaking attempts into that for the playlist video. I'm telling you.
All right.
It was horrible. So so playlist 6. I think the main thing, and I think you guys might agree, is specifically like that last event that shows I mean, that's kind of like the first kind of like event that we've had like that.
Yeah. You're
That like
talking
it was just like
the second to last event. The one where
second
it
to last.
switches.
Yeah. Not the premiere.
Not the premiere.
The
Yeah.
getaway. I
Yes.
think it was
Yeah.
called the getaway.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
I think it was
we
called the
switched
getaway
boat
with
and
the
plane or
The
whatever.
boat and the
Yeah,
plane and all that.
exactly. Yeah. That was kind of like the first event like that it had like actual like things going around or like on
Yeah.
around you,
Yeah.
as well as like the previous events had like the
The
cars,
cars.
getting in your way.
Yep.
I think that is definitely a positive because we haven't. I mean, for the most part, the first playlists that we've gotten in the game, the ones that ship with the game, they're kind of all the same. Like, it's just like, okay, you race,
Yeah.
like you look for like the turns that you need to go to. You get the little check mark for the I forget what it's called.
The clue find or follow the clues. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're all pretty much the same, but this is like these set of events were totally different. Now whether if they were cool or not, I mean that's besides the point. But I think like them changing the environment,
Yes.
them changing the aesthetic, like the lighting, like was totally different. Like for
Totally
example,
different.
the mini one like had like a pink hue to it.
Yes.
Like it was very different
Yes.
than the regular game. So I think that, and I hope that they experiment with that. Maybe not even. Well, I hope that they do it outside of the playlist.
Yes.
What
I
if
agree.
they had like? What if? And I think I mentioned it to you like to you guys. What if they had themed grand races? I say for a holiday or whatever. Like Halloween themed grand races. There's pumpkins like in the city
Yeah.
or like nighttime.
It would be
like,
awesome.
just stuff they can do with that.
Yes.
And that would definitely liven it up. I mean, it's not going to be a deal breaker. It's like, oh, if it's not in the game, people are still going to do grand races.
Right.
But them changing the environment I mean, look at the crew too. Like they would change the environment so much, like for the events, and then you go back to the regular USA, and then it's totally different.
Yeah.
The environment, like it looks barren for some parts. If it's out in the desert. But when they have these events, like everything's just live, everything is just totally different. And I
Yes.
think they need to do more of that.
Yes.
Not only in the playlist, but like I said, in races that you do with others.
Yeah, it was the events that I liked the most in the crew too. And it was ones that they had done recently within the last year, I think, within the last year. Or maybe they did them a couple of years ago, but I just played them in the last year. But basically the ones where the environment around you is changing throughout the race. The water tower falls over, or I forget which one it is, but something like big crashes over. You have to jump over some things, and like I just like all of that. Like
that the chase?
I think it was the chase was the one with the interception stuff.
Yeah, the interception. Yeah.
Yeah, not that. It's way after that. It was like a few updates after that. I forget what it's called, but somebody in chat will probably know. But basically there's races where like the weather was different, and then the environment was changing, and things were things were breaking out. Like that event reminded me of that stuff. I'm not really that excited about using boats and planes or like switching up vehicles mid race. It's fine. It's whatever to me. But the fact that they were like changing the feel of the race mid race, like dude, when they started shooting at us, I was like, dude, that's awesome. I know there's no danger of actually getting shot down in your plane, but it's like the ambiance and the experience of it. You know what I mean? Like that was actually interesting and different. I thought that event was the best one in the playlist by far.
Yeah.
But they also had a couple of things that kind of like slight twists that surprised me. Like the Mini, the first time you saw the Toyota Tacoma come at you in the Mini was so close, you almost hit it. It was like, whoa, what just happened? And it's the first race of the playlist, so that kind of set the tone for the playlist. And then they had other races where like that 3-lap race where they changed the all of the
Mustang.
With the Mustang. Like I didn't like driving the Mustang, but the event itself was kind of neat. The idea of the event was neat. I think it could have been better, but they changed the like the location of the jumps, or like the set was changed every lap, which I thought was a neat idea. I think they can do more of that. I think this one was like not that great, but it was a sign that they can and will get more creative with the game. And obviously the crew 2 is sort of proof of that, right? They have lots of very creative storytelling events. It almost felt like a campaign almost. And that's kind of how I want those playlists to feel, right? That was kind of the whole thing. You expected each playlist to have a certain feel to it, and a certain I don't know. And this one actually felt unique. It did feel like its own
More
thing.
than the Hoonigan one, for
Way
sure.
more. The Hoonigan one was so bland. It
Yeah.
was so
Mhm.
bland.
The only thing is they had like a filter to some of them. That was really it.
Yeah. I mean, they
And the little
introduced the sort of like, what is it called?
The mode, like the Gymkhana.
Gymkhana. Yeah, they introduced the Gymkhana thing, which was basically just like drifting, like around the circles.
Mm-hmm.
And riding the rails, you know. Well, that's a little...
Yeah.
Riding the rails is too much, I think, for the
Come on, man.
podcast.
Come on, dude.
But
I mean,
anyway, you get what I'm saying. I think
Yeah.
I definitely think that was a positive. It maybe isn't the most entertaining thing right now, but I think going forward, it means that they're willing to do it. Like, I love that event for they were shooting at us. I love the fact that the mountain fell down, you know, as you're flying through there in the plane. It made it feel like the plane race, or the plane part of it, wasn't like useless. Like, every time I've driven a plane in this game, I'm like, I'm so bored.
it was more exciting.
It was more
cruising
exciting.
planes in a grand race.
100%. 100%. So,
Yeah.
dude, I don't know. I just think it's I'm not saying it's like a 10 out of 10 by any means.
No.
I think the playlist was a little bit bland, but I think in general the ideas they had were good, and we just needed to... I want to see more of that. I want to see more of that in the upcoming playlist, because it's pretty obvious their strategy, I think. I mean, you kind of look at what they're doing, and it's very... It almost seems like very... I don't know, like scheduled. It's like, you know, every 3 months we're going to have an update. We're going to give you a playlist. And that playlist, we've spent the previous 6 months working on it, and it's going to come out here. And so they're very like already in motion. Like, I bet you they already have season 4, 5, and 6, the playlists already like filmed and ready to go. They just have to like implement it into the game.
Yo,
What I want-
Scarcity.
Let's go.
Scarcity.
Welcome to the
Go,
Militia. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Scarcity. Appreciate it, man.
One thing I want to hear you guys' opinion on. Street Tier 2 rally routes.
I've
I haven't
not
come
seen it.
across it yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
come across it, so I'm not sure.
Well,
It
chat.
sounds like it's great.
So chat, any of you guys that have probably done grand races have found out when you get the new hub. So we got 10 new routes, and we got one hub. The hub is
Okay.
called Diamond Head.
Okay.
When it's not all the time, but there's certain routes that would get in the middle, Street Tier 2 rally. And basically it's Huracan or Taycan spam. It
Oh,
doesn't
really?
like I mean anything all-wheel drive, you're good. Like if you use rear-wheel drive and you lose traction, like you're done.
You're
Like you're
done.
losing slip, and you're already going slow, so you're just setting yourself up more. I'm not a big fan of that. I think that for sure what they should have done, why not just keep it a rally raid?
Yeah.
Like, because it would have been better than like you actually go faster. Like, because again, the main problem with like the river route, apart from it being boring going through water
It's
and then cutting over and then going back, it's slow.
It's so slow, dude.
Yeah, you go to we would do like racing or hype or whatever, and then we get to that in the river route, and the race dies
Yes.
until you
Yeah,
get to the
it
end
does.
of it.
Yes.
It's so boring. It seems like it's like you're in traffic. That's what it feels like. Like if you're super pumped to go to an event and you sit in traffic. That's
Yeah.
what the river route some it feels like. That's what the Street Tier 2 rally events
Yes.
feel like. And I can't fault them for trying it, but at the same time, what's good about routes or summits when they're done right is good car and track combos.
Yes.
When you have a hypercar on a very short, tight section circuit, it's not fun because
No.
you can't let the car breathe. You can't actually use it.
You gotta
to its
let them
strengths.
ponies gallop, dude.
Yeah, but if you're in let's say the Hemi in Street Tier 1, it's more fun because you can actually use the car more.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a
It
better
actually
seating, a better
feels like
setting.
you're going too fast for the car at some point, right?
Yeah.
Because the car's too slow and blah blah. It's different. It needs the combinations need to be really good, and I don't think they've been.
Open summits in this freaking new Grand Races. For Future 2 Rally. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They definitely should just put it for Rally, because like I mean, the route. I mean, it's not a new route. It's just a backwards route.
Right.
But now they just added a different class.
This is an issue that I'll say one more time. Probably I'll say it again after this, but I've been saying this since before the game came out. The map is too small.
Yeah.
And obviously they went with something that was manageable for their team. They didn't want to get too big, but it's too small. And we need a new island. Please. Because there's not enough routes. Like, it's not like they can just throw in random like, it's gonna feel terrible if you're just going over random terrain that's not designed to be driven over. Unless it's like a rally raid situation, then you can kind of take that anywhere, I guess. But I don't
Talking
know.
about rally raid, another thing that they did was we still have rally through the river, but now they have rally raid through the river. Which, I mean, it's slightly better, but the thing is, for the most part, Tacoma spam in the river.
Of course.
It's not.
Is the rally car route still there too?
The rally
like the
car
rally?
route?
Yeah, I don't think they
Yeah, like the
removed it.
regular. They didn't
I don't
remove
think
it. They just added another one
They
where
just
you do it in
added-
rally raid.
Oh,
I
you guys
think
don't
so.
like this? Here, do it in a different car.
Yeah, do it in a slightly better car, but
Alright,
it's
thanks.
not like really.
That's
The rally raid is definitely more suitable for that, but at the same time, the meta car for it, like once the back end kicks out, through all those little trees you have to go through, you know, it's I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get that. They're like, hey, this is the one of the things that everybody can agree on they hate in the game is going through this river.
Yes.
Let's add that again in a different car. Like, what the hell?
Good idea, dude. Let's push
What
that
the
to the
heckin'
front
crap,
of the
dude?
what the heckin' crap, bro.
A point that you made right now, how far? Okay, so obviously they're not against the idea of expanding the map. Obviously they did it with the Hoonigan Island. What do you think, both for you, Steven and Trigger, do you guys think that we'll get a full-fledged island, another one, or do you think they'll just keep adding little ones around the thing? I have one that I hope for, but I'm curious to hear what you guys think about that.
I have two answers to this. I have what I would want and what I think is going to happen. What I would want is one of the big islands that are out in the distance. And from my perspective, there should be no reason why we can't go to those islands. We have boats, we have planes. They're in the game already. We can use them to get there. So it makes sense in terms of the game to be able to go to those islands.
Yeah, it'd be very fitting.
Yes.
We can even have races that go from island to island.
Yes. You start on this island, you go on a boat, and then you go on the next island. You start on this island, you go into a plane, you go on to the next island. Those types of grand races can exist, and I think hopefully they've thought about this and they're trying to make that happen. That'd be great. But what I think is going to happen with season 4, 5, 6, maybe 7, maybe the full next year, is I think we'll get islands like Hoonigan Island, maybe bigger ones, but man-made things that they add to the map first, because I think that might be easier than developing and testing and making sure the geometry of the island, all the coding is right, making sure there's no clipping and there's it's a smooth experience when you get to that next island, because I don't think those islands are populated with very much. Now, there was a Black Panther video that I watched the other day, actually not the other day, it was back when the game was just came out. He did a video on one of those islands where you can kind of see things going on, and obviously they've put some trees and some assets they've dropped there, so they're obviously familiar with this stuff. They're making it look like something. I mean, it's too far away, you can't see it from the island, so why would you put trees and assets there? They're obviously preparing it for something. But in time, how much time is it going to be before we actually see that, though? Like, I think probably a year, I would say. Because I think it takes a long time to prepare it. In the meantime, maybe some smaller ones.
What do you think, Steven?
I'm gonna say I don't know. I feel like it'd be dope if they like added another big island like that, or the ones that are already there or something. But I'm not too sure. I feel like I agree. We'll see more smaller things like the Hoonigan Island before we get like a huge map change.
Yeah,
I
for
kind of
sure.
agree with both of you guys. I think that what I would want is a full-fledged island. What I will say though is I understand if they're trying to keep the environment similar to the Hawaii experience, there's gonna be a gap between the islands, but it would be dope if they were connected, not by one road. And that was one thing that sucks about the island, like the Hoonigan Island. It's only one way in and one way out. So if you wanted to include it in races, it's either gonna end there or start there.
Right.
And that's it. That's the only difference. And you're basically going through the island. And that's something that sucks. But obviously, if we have a full-fledged island, it's different. I mean, think of all the routes that they've been able to do and all the routes they've added post-launch.
Yeah.
On this island, even though it's much, much smaller than the USA.
Right.
But for sure, I think that we're going to probably get some more islands. Hopefully, they're more bigger. Hopefully, there's multiple ways to get in and out of them.
Yeah.
That's something that needs to be explored because that'll change some variety. Maybe have an island that you can go through a tunnel.
Yeah.
I mean, they had a race. They had a into Crew 2.
Yeah.
You can go through a
Under the
tunnel
water.
under the water.
Yeah.
Have something like that. I mean, that's something that's different. I mean, it wouldn't be a game changer, but it would definitely change the aspect of racing. And you can have specific lights in there. There's a lot of little things they can do with that.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to Richard Price for the $5 donation, or the €5 donation. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Just a token of appreciation for all the hard work you guys put into delivering us awesome content. Thank you so much, man. Every time someone does something like that, like they become a member or they donate or whatever, it's like it literally hits me in the chest. I'm not even joking. Like even just like a 99-cent, just like whatever the cheapest you can do, it's amazing to me that something that we've created basically is valuable to people enough to for them to give us a token of appreciation. So Richard, thank you, man. Appreciate it. As far as the islands go, I have another idea that's sort of not related to map expansion, but more so to gameplay, and it's sort of taking a page out of the GTA book, which is going to sound weird because obviously this game is about racing more so than shooting and running into people on the sidewalk. But what if we had some sort of bunker-ish situation somewhere that you could buy with bucks, with a lot of bucks? I'm talking like 5 mil or something like that. And it would be your garage. And like GTA, you would have 10 spaces or, whatever. And then you could upgrade that over time. You could earn more bucks to upgrade it. You could, have specific missions, deliveries. It could be taxis. It could be a host of different like driving missions. I don't even care. Just whatever. Get creative with it in your mind. But a way to upgrade that to, let's say, a 20 car garage or a 30 or whatever. And it wouldn't be anything other than a place to show off basically what you have. I mean, it's not like you can only have 30 cars in your collection. You're obviously, when you have a collection, you have 300-400 cars. But you get to pick which ones are in there. You customize them, you put them in there. Like, these are your prized possessions. I would have my F40. I'd probably have like 10 F40s in different colors.
And they have like a bleed floor.
At least one bleed floor, right?
I don't know. Anyway. I think that'd be cool, but I don't know. I feel like it's just something that wouldn't get used that much. I mean, unless, like you were saying, there's like other types of like missions or whatever, to actually do something with it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I feel like it's just gonna be like you might load it up and throw your cars in it, but how often are you actually going to even be there?
Yeah.
You're just going to fast travel to events or your grand racing. You're not really going to be doing much with that.
Yeah.
What I will say is, so when I was able to get into the crew 2 when it was not bugged, I did appreciate the house that you're able to like just
Yeah.
walk around.
Yeah.
It's like a small like I probably have maybe like 10 minutes in total out of the amount of time I played the crew 2 in that house.
Yeah,
Like,
of course, me too.
It is not like I've been there a lot, but I was like, it's cool. Just, like you said, be able to put the cars where you want them.
Yeah.
And then what if you can invite your friends just to just walk around? I mean, obviously it's not like an MMO or anything like that where you can like do stuff, but like it would be dope if you could just invite your friends. You could just maybe you have a spot that you can showcase one of their cars.
Yeah.
Like a designated spot, and you're like, oh, you can give them access so they can put their car, or if they add crews, please add crews.
Please add crews. It's the crew.
Yeah, it's the crew. Add a crew.
Please.
Have a crew versus crew. Come on,
Competitions.
Like, there's stuff they could do with there.
There's so much.
But just have like a designated spot, and then maybe you can have like your crew's cars there. Think about like the Trigger Militia, and you just see the cars lined up, and all of them customized. You can open them up. Like, there's things that they could do with that.
100%.
And that would add to not only the people that don't play multiplayer a lot. They're just like doing single player, just like hanging out with their friends, whatever. Because I've noticed this when sometimes I would go on like the Twitch category and see what people are doing, and I would see a lot of people, they're not even racing, and I mean that's fine. I mean, obviously, like everybody plays the game for different reasons. But it's so interesting seeing people just hanging out in free roam, and obviously people know about the free roam issues.
Yeah.
Not being able to crew up with people, but
right.
It'll be dope just adding to that, like, because for the one time that you might actually do that, you might like, oh, I want to go and everybody in a crew, they can come to my freaking spot. We can check out the cars, we can just chill. That would be dope.
Yeah,
obviously I don't see that happening for.
Well, they would have to fix the partying up problem, the free roam problem that they have right now. Yeah, they have to fix that first. But yeah, I mean, they could absolutely expand on it. Like something that Paragleber said. TC2 already had houses, which you're right. Yeah. I didn't spend any time in the house, but it's because they just never really made me want to spend time in there. Like. It was fine. You could put a car somewhere, but I'm talking about like an actual garage. Like, dude, how car people in general, I feel like I can speak for people who are at the very least an enthusiast level. I'm not like a car guy, but I'm an enthusiast. I like cars a lot. And one day I want a garage with 10, 20, 30 cars in it. And it's not, I think that's a pretty common thing. You want this, like, at least you have like 3, 4 cars, 5 cars you want. So I think that having a garage where you can showcase 10 cars and pick which ones they are, and change the decor inside the garage and stuff like that, I feel like would be cool, as long as it's tied to progression. You could tie it to this 100 levels that we have in our main stage Legends track. Like, it could be linked to that. I mean, we don't have any rewards in that track. There's like level 1, 2, and 3. And then from like 4 to 100 is just like a title that no one uses. It's like a completely unused progression system. Like the rewards could be in there, like visual. They could. I mean, I'm not trying to like give them any more things to charge money for, but vanities could be used inside that house. You could sell, different, like, I don't know, lighting or floors or whatever. You get like, oh, I want the super shiny whatever floor. This floor looks cool, or this one has the logo on it, or this one has a big Ferrari logo, or whatever. I mean, you could add. There's so many possibilities with
or
garage.
They can add for a new playlist. They can add rewards that give you stuff for your house.
Exactly.
So like you said, a Ferrari floor, or you finish the Ferrari playlist, and you get that.
Yes, and it has to be tied to progression. I think. Like if it's just simply vanity and it's just there just to be there, which is what the case was with the Crew 2, I don't think it's going to work. But because they could tie it to progression, I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, I think one of the things as well is, what you were saying, like you didn't really go to the house for any reason, is because there was nothing that you could do there that you couldn't do anywhere else.
Exactly.
it was nothing. I mean, you go in there. I mean, you can go to your little character in the back. You can change your outfit, but I mean, like you can do that elsewhere. You just no reason to go there. But like you said, I think if they add some sort of progression with the playlist, adding onto what the rewards you get, like you get a vanity, you get like a sound effect, or for like cars, add something for the houses.
You could
people
have
would grant out the playlists.
You could have a doorbell that your friends have to ring when they get there in order to be let in, and the doorbell would have different sounds. Like it would be like
DirectmodeFEST,
yeah, exactly. Like, oh, someone's here. And then if you wanted to, each player could have their own doorbell ring. So when you went in and rang your friend's doorbell, you would know exactly who it was.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's crazy, but I feel like there's a lot of possibilities there. I don't think there's anything in the works for that, but I don't know. It would be interesting. I would like to have more customization options I would like more ways to show off what I'm doing. It'd be cool to show off your collection. I mean, there's really not, like, what do you get for collecting all the cars? Nothing. Like, it's like, okay, you have all the cars, but who cares? But there's not really a way to show it off. If there was, I think people would.
What if they added a player card? Right. So let's say if you can look up somebody and then like you would see Trigger MGC and it'll show your favorite car at 40. It'll say that, and then you have like some spots that you can customize. Like let's say if you want to show off your Grand Race wins.
Yeah, your favorite achievements.
Like, yeah. So stuff like that you can showcase it. I think that would be dope.
Cool.
And it would.
And then you could tie rewards to that. You say, oh, these little, instead of having titles that just hover on your name and no one really pays attention to them, instead of that, it could be something that's more like a player card that you can actually showcase the things you want. Like all the data is there, the stats, the grand races, the wins, losses, all that data is there. All they have to do is
just the UI.
Display it. Yeah, exactly. The doorbell ring of Trigger's intro. Imagine, that'd be great. Can I please get a horn?
Yeah.
Dude, I love the horns. I want a horn.
Yeah, I think
Steven needs a horn that says, the gutter just sucked me.
Yeah, that would be dope. One enemy said something that was pretty interesting. They should add a prestige system. Yeah, because one thing we've all got past the amount of legend points that we need. So we have a bunch there. Like I have I think 800 or something like that.
That you're not using?
I can't even use.
Okay, that's outrageous. But I have like 80 that I can't use.
Yeah. So I'm saying even the 80, it's done. Like, what are we doing with that? So like, yeah, it's cool that you can go like level. Like I'm level 1400, I think, or something like that. I don't know what you guys are right now, but like
I don't
it would be
remember.
dope. And have an icon for that. Like if you're adding a prestige system, add an icon for that.
Yes.
And also, one thing I've noticed, and it's kind of been annoying, like whenever, let's say if you finish first and I'm like everybody else is behind you and we're behind you, we won't see your level on the Grand Race end screen or anything like that. Like, you don't see that. You only see your title.
Right.
So I think that they need to show that off because if you're doing it legitly, I have to say, and not,
of course.
Obviously people, no macro users.
Of course.
If you actually created the game, it would be dope if they had, I would have to say for sure. It would be great. Dope to have like a little thing that you can see like, level 100, prestige 15.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or just give the people that prestige if they wanted to, and you don't have to.
Yeah.
It could be level 1500 or prestige 5 and whatever.
Yeah. It just displaying your time, your achievement. You want to be able to show that off. Ribs, that would be amazing, bro. A horn that says "Let's go." Can we get that in the game? Can we band together as a community and like we did with Fair Play TCM, we can also do this one to get "Let's go" in the game. I feel like that's a worthy cause. So everybody make it happen. Yeah.
I gotta bring something up that I was thinking about earlier when I was doing a daily build video.
Oh, here we go.
We go.
Recently, I don't know if you guys noticed, we kind of changed the little intro part before. It got rid of the "Let's go."
It did. I've been thinking about that for weeks.
I noticed that when I did it today, I was doing it, and then I was like, "There's no 'Let's go' anymore."
Yeah, dude.
Where's the "Let's go"?
We need to figure this out. I gotta figure out a creative way to do it, because I really like having some sort of like small entertainment clip at the beginning of the video.
Yeah, I think it's nice.
I have to figure it out. Maybe we just need to have like an audio clip that plays right before the intro sequence. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But anyway, it's a thing. Yeah, it's something I've been thinking about actually. Wee says depressed. Dude, my doorbell says everyone sucks except me.
And immediately falls off a mountain.
Immediately. Well, not immediately. It was like a 1 or 2 turns I made.
Oh, but trust me, the clip will be immediately. Don't worry.
Yeah, okay.
it's
Well,
the doorbell says everyone sucks except me, and then it's like a squeaky door, like.
Exactly. JM Alpha, I have no idea what that means, bro. I'll just let you know right now.
You got sick drip.
Thanks. But do I have like, am I?
Yeah, he's saying
Am
you
I
got something
drooling?
dripping off your beard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And it's fresh. You got something
It's
fresh
something
dripping
new.
off
Yeah,
your
it happened right now. Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah.
I gotta learn.
I don't know why when you said that, the first thing that came to mind was the clip of like Trigger sneezing. It's like,
Ugh.
These
I
boogers
sneezed-
everywhere.
Boogers everywhere, bro. Vic, I agree with you on this. No nighttime and grand races. I think we should have nighttime and grand races. I think it's just an ambiance change. I feel like it probably wouldn't be too hard for them to implement. I mean, we already have like, changing the time of day and the photo mode and all this stuff. So I feel like it's something that could be implemented maybe with the next update. I think it's not gonna bring any players back that are like, I'm bored with the game. But
like,
for the people that are playing, I feel like it'd be good.
nice little change.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of players who have left, I think there's a large majority of the players that bought the game day one that are no longer playing the game. I think it's a big, and I think they'll come back for these free updates. They'll play the playlist, and then they're gone for another 3 months. I can see it already in the numbers, like for the videos. Like a lot of sorry, I got distracted by a text message. A lot of those players are only there for PvE content, and when they run out of that, they're done. They're not playing grand races basically.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. I think the game has a lot to offer, but there needs to be something that keeps people playing, and grand races are not enough. They're just not. And Demolition Derby might as well just be deleted, I feel like. So
I have an idea.
I'm
We've
all
already
ears.
talked about it. One thing, ranked mode. Again, one thing that would create replayability is you going for ranks.
Yeah.
Again, if we're gonna add rank mode, it needs to have ghosting, because you guys see the chaos and the people that are purposefully ramming in regular grand races.
Mhm.
Now add something that you can actually get, whether if it's a vanity, whether if it's a title. Like, I mean, people would ram out of their world just to freaking get silver.
Yes.
Just to get silver. So like, they need to do something with the ghosting. I think that for ranked, it needs to be full on, no collision.
Full ghosting for ranked.
Because if you have 15 seconds, once it ends, it's gonna be freaking all hell breaks loose.
Yeah.
So but I think that if they do add some form of ranked, they need to have vanities, license plates.
Yeah.
Like, add something other than just a title that no one's gonna be able to see.
Right.
They need to figure, again, like you said, they need to figure out a way to show off what all the time that you've put in the game. Like, I have 919 hours in the game, and no one would know apart from like if they
if they're following the channel, obviously.
Yeah. So they need to figure out something to do with that and reward those players. Like and then also give the newer players something to work towards. Because once you finish the playlist, you hop in grand races, but I mean, you're not really getting much out of, apart from just racing.
Right.
From the grand races, like
Right.
you're not earning anything apart from money and parts. But
And
if
that
you're not looking for
experience-
parts, then
Yeah, but I mean, and that experience, the grand race experience, is really not the best. I mean, for someone like you who tends to win more than not, or at the I mean, podium is like a guarantee basically for you. But besides people like you, the vast majority of people have a very rough experience in the grand races because of the collisions.
Yeah.
It's I think full ghosting would be a mistake, because part of the charm of the grand races is sort of that weird collision. Having 28 players in a race is crazy. So part of that is the crazy is part of the race. But I think maybe the first couple of corners until the race kind of spreads out a little bit and opens up, and that there's not as many, you know, collision spots. I think that would be a ghost for 15 seconds, or, you know, something like that would be good. The first couple of corners are just madness, dude. It's literally every man for themselves. I know, I knew Goliath would want ghosting. I know all of the sweats want ghosting, I feel like. But full ghosting, I think it's a mistake, because it completely takes away from the mode. Like the actual design of that mode was to be chaotic, because it's meant to feel good when you win. When you win out of 28 players, you're meant to feel like I just survived this craziness and I ended up coming out first.
Is it too many bots blocking people at the start just to not even finish the race?
Freaking elitist over here, dude.
But I agree. I would prefer not to have full ghosting, but unfortunately, there's some people that literally not even dare the race. They're just there to freaking play demo derby because they can't find anybody in actual demo derby.
Right.
That's gotta be it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I think for sure 15 seconds, 20 seconds, that'll be fine.
Yeah.
If they didn't want to do that and they want a lot of chaos, they would have to develop something kind of like Forza, where when they can detect that somebody's going too fast and they're about to go into you, and they'll just ghost them only.
Yeah.
And make it so there's no collision.
Right.
It's the only other thing if they didn't want to do full on ghosting or no ghosting at literally the beginning of the race.
I think a system like that probably hard to develop, is my guess.
Yeah. For sure. I mean, it's much harder than just ghosting everybody.
So much. I don't know if AI would be involved, but I feel like it would be, because it's so much like guesswork. You have to like really understand, like the physics of the game have to be involved in a system like that. Like they need to know if a collision is going to be happening. It's the detection on that. I just feel like it's probably pretty complicated. So I would be okay with us, and if they want to develop something like that, obviously more power to them, because in Forza Horizon 5 it actually works pretty well. So if they want to do that,
for the pace
great.
of the game
Yeah,
as well.
exactly. So if they want to do that, great. If they don't want to do that, then I would be okay with like a 15-second ghosting. I think 15 seconds is maybe a little bit longer, because everybody starts from a dead stop. So like 15 to 20 seconds, something like that.
Yeah. They for sure no more than 30 seconds.
Yeah, or like Dave, DS Awesome. I call him Dave. I don't know why I call him Dave. I think his name was Dave at some point, right? DS Awesome, like the first 5%. So yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that'll work.
But I think ghosting the whole race is definitely a mistake.
No, I think the collision adds to the racing.
Yes, for sure.
Not ramming collision,
Obviously.
like actually like racing side by side, because my gosh,
trading
I've had
paint.
so many people literally not go for checkpoints, and they literally just go for me.
Yes.
It makes, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
Also, like one thing they could do, people that miss a checkpoint for like they should be able to, if somebody missed a checkpoint and is still driving for 30 seconds, why don't you reset them back? Like, why are they allowed to just drive anywhere?
I agree with that.
Yeah,
I agree with that too.
100%.
Like, if you have taken 30 seconds and you still haven't got the next checkpoint, I think there's a problem.
There's a problem there. Reset them.
Reset them back.
Also, what about the people that are just sitting there?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
At the beginning, like,
Yeah.
why not go sit at the beginning? Why
Yeah,
just sitting there? You
dude.
hit SUV
Dude.
at the beginning of the race. Oh my gosh.
There's like at the beginning when everybody's going, like, please ghost everybody so we can just get going.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot they can and should do when it comes to the PvP in the game. I think we've talked about it before in the podcast in terms of like ranked mode and all that stuff, like what we want to do. I just think they can't ignore PvE. Like, there has to be some sort of, I think there's not really a sense of progression in the game. The only real sense of progression is the legend track, which is a monthly thing. But I feel like that is, I don't know, it's just bland because all of it is titles. You know, you get to a level 100 and you get a title. But I think there needs to be a sense of progression in the PvE, in the PvE stuff, because it's just not, it's just for those players that are not going to want to play that. They're not going to want to continue playing it. So you just have these like small pockets of people coming into the game whenever there's a new update, like a big update. And the summits would be a reason to keep people playing. It would be every single week. Yeah. But the rewards have been just god awful. I mean, it just, I don't know. I feel like they are increasing the summit rewards, which is nice in terms of parts and money. But I think they need to make better vanities or something, dude, or like release more cars, or I don't know. But something needs to go on with the summits. It definitely, I feel like it's definitely they've stepped forward a little. But it's not there yet.
I didn't even look at the reward for this week. I have no idea what it is.
So the structure you're going to see throughout this entire season is going to be a vanity for platinum, a car that's, you know, buyable, a regular, just a car basically.
Right.
A car for gold, and then like either parts or XP or money as the silver, bronze rewards. And then the last week of the month, you're going to get a summit exclusive vehicle. Car. Yeah. And gotcha. I think they're going to recycle some of the Crew 2 exclusive cars to get through those as well. They might put those in the main stage though. Because if you notice the one now, what is it? What is it? A 718? The Porsche that you get for the main stage track right now?
No, that's not a 718. It's a 911, but it's the
speed
ice one. The ice.
Oh yeah, it's the one with the skis in it.
Yeah.
That was an exclusive car in the Crew 2.
Special agent, I think.
Special agent. Yeah, I think that's right.
Something like that.
That was an exclusive car in the Crew 2.
Yes.
So
you couldn't buy it.
Yeah. So I think that is kind of how they're going to deliver those cars until we get to a point where all of the Crew 2 cars and all of the MotorFest cars are all in MotorFest. Like, there's going to be a point where we hit that, and I cannot wait for that, because then what are we going to get? We're going to get new cars. We're going to get new vanities. We're going to get new exclusive stuff. Like, that's the moment I'm waiting for.
MotorFest. Yeah.
Oh, man. Dude, Goliath is anti-boosted sets.
Uh-oh.
We need to talk about this.
Uh-oh, here we go.
I think there's nothing wrong with boosted sets themselves. It's just how they delivered them and how exclusive they were. I think, the Winter Agent. I think boosted sets existing are a good thing, because it's something for players to, it is something that players could grind for. Like, let's say they tie it to the main stage progression track, and then later on, you know how all the main stage rewards are now coming back in the legacy? They could just drop them in the legacy so that everybody can access them, but they have to work for them. I think having players work for the boosted sets is no problem as long as it's available to everybody. But you have to put time in. Like, you get to level 100 and you get 1 or 2 boosted parts or whatever. Like, you know, string it out. I don't care, but just it's something to grind for. And you can put that in the main stage legacy at the end. I think the problem is that they were so exclusive in the Crew 2. That's the issue. The exclusivity is the problem, not the sets. The sets are cool. I think it's awesome. Who doesn't want 1% more NOS?
I'll take it.
You telling me, Goliath, you don't want to go 1% faster? Come on, man. That'd be a straight up lie.
Yeah, but I mean, I could see people complaining, "Oh my gosh, I'm losing races. I'm not getting platinum because I don't have 1% more NOS."
It's true. They need to get 1% more NOS and direct mode.
Yeah.
And they will
Yeah,
they
and a
will
toucan
improve
tune.
they will improve tenfold or 30 seconds. I'm not really sure.
Yeah. Or they could just subscribe to xrcheese.com, use Simgii code 10% off.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. Does anyone
Yep.
have a unique title? I do not. I don't even know if they exist. There's a category for them.
It's
It's a
true.
conspiracy.
I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know. Lucas says they should do simple sets on summits. I don't even want a nitro set for planes and boats now that the grind is only on races. Yeah, I think they just need to. So there's so many okay, let's talk about the grind a little bit, just a tiny bit before we wrap this up. The grind on this game is pretty intense, and that makes the game not fun. Over the long term, it's just not fun to grind out parts, right? If the grind was fun, we wouldn't be talking. So the real issue is that they don't have a fun delivery system for these parts. So you have two options as a dev. You can introduce ways to make the grind fun, or you can shorten the grind so that it's not a grind, it's actually just gameplay.
A little inconvenience.
Yeah. I prefer a combination of the both because I actually do like a grind. I like a game that requires a lot of time. Not everybody's on that page. It's probably a very unpopular opinion. But I prefer a game that actually rewards players who choose to spend their time there as opposed to another game. So I want a combination of both. I would like them to adjust the grind so it's a little bit less, so that the casual audience does have a chance to get all the parts. And then I would like to have more interesting ways to grind. I want more ways to earn Explorer XP. I want better rewards for feats. Like, the feats should reward a lot, and I think you should reward based on how many feats you do. Like, let's say you go into the, like, in a 24-hour period, if you complete 10 feats, you get 2 legendary parts, or like a legendary part for every 3 feats that you do, or, you know, something like that. Like, it has to be, the feats are not terrible to play. And if you're doing a bunch of them in a row, it's not like the most boring thing, because it's a different event every single time. So, like, there should be reward based on number of feats that you have. And the XP gained on a feat should be way more than it is, because it's literally the only way, aside from treasure boxes, to level up your Explorer timeline.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, let's tie some better rewards to it, base it on more, you know, completion, or, you know, whatever. I don't know, but do both. Make the grind easier. Also, you know, make me grind for something, but make it a little slightly easier, please.
Hashtag trigger likes escapes.
Oh my god. I honestly, if it wasn't like a have to do it, escapes are actually one of my favorite events in the game, because it is
Really?
Yeah, I actually really like trying to get the most possible distance on an escape. It was one of my favorite things to do in the crew too. I think during summits it's very frustrating to have to do it over and over and over and over again, only because I'm making a video on it, and I can't afford the time that it takes to actually do it right. So that gets frustrating. But as far as the actual game, the gameplay itself, I actually do like that. I like having to run from that red circle, you know?
A red circle scrubbing your eye.
Yeah, I don't want that. Dude, the red circle scrubbing my ass when I'm taking off. I just...
As soon as you said red circle, I looked at Simgii.
You already know.
I knew that
Slide.
inside joke was going to come up. Is there anything else you want to talk about, Simgii, before we get started on some content for tonight, and we let everybody who's been watching and staying and chatting with us, we let them go?
I think for sure. Same thing we kind of, when we were talking about wheel mode that one time, let IVT know what you need or what you
Yes.
think should be fixed.
Yes.
As you've seen, they're listening. They will make necessary changes to the game if they deem it to be important.
Yes.
So if you have any issues, whether it's performance, go in the Ubisoft Discords or the crew Discord, post a thread, see if anybody else is having the same issues. If you're having performance, whatever, let them know what issues you're having with the game or what you think needs to be fixed, because that is the best way to get the game going in the direction that it needs to go. Whether if it's multiplayer wise, if it's single player wise, any little details, who knows what they'll add. You know,
Yeah.
It could be you might think, oh, why would I spend like 2 minutes to write a little thread? And you know, who knows, they're gonna even look at it. Maybe they will. Maybe it's a unique idea, no one thought about it, and they might see it and like, you know, that's a good thing. It won't take too much time to actually add it in the game. And
Yeah.
I don't.
It's important to continue to provide feedback, because obviously IVT is listening. They're watching. They're paying attention to the community. So
yeah.
Anyway, guys, Simgii, thanks for joining us on this. I wanted an expert opinion on direct mode. It really helped with the conversation. And if you guys are not already, I have a feeling these guys are all. I see a lot of familiar names in here. I think all these guys are following you and subscribe to your channel. But if you have not already subscribed to Simgii's channel, there's a link in the description. Just click his name, it'll go to his channel, and please subscribe. Congrats, Simgii, on 3,000 subscribers.
3,000.
I think you hit that today, right? You hit that today.
Yeah, I hit on stream.
He hit 3,000 subs today, and I'm super proud, because I remember when I think when I first was introduced to you in the channel and all that, it was like 300.
Yeah.
So you have 10 times the amount of subs right now.
Yeah.
Wait, no, 10 or 100? What's the math? 100 times. Wow. No, 10 times. 300 to 3,000. Yeah, 10 times. I'm stupid. Anyways, math's not my strong suit. We need to end this right now. Yeah.
Well, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. All right, guys, take it easy. We'll catch you.
Oh, Simgii. Yeah, I ask that in the mirror every day.
Yeah, exactly. What is hold on, wait. Let's read this. You should end this like a real podcast with a guest. Anything you want to promote, Simgii? Any upcoming tour dates? There you go. You have any upcoming tour dates? Any streams? Do you have a stream schedule?
I don't. I should, honestly. That's definitely something that I need to get more down with. Like, need to get okay, these days for sure.
And then, you know, if you want to do it later, you can.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
exactly.
Well,
That's
anyway,
something I need to do.
if you guys are subbed to his channel with the bell notification clicked, you will get the notification when he goes live, and then you should click on that notification.
Yeah,
because he's awesome. You're gonna see the best racing. Just that's period. End of story. If you're watching his streams, you're gonna see him and literally all the top players playing. So
yes.
Anyway, all right, Steven, anything you want to talk about before you? Anything you want to plug? You're gonna be on Pirates and.
Just want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
And
no, we're gonna
end it now.
Yeah, thanks to all you guys watching. All you guys in chat are making me laugh the whole time, dude. I don't know if you guys saw it. They just kept like quoting us out of context.
Yes, I did. I saw that. It's good.
It's hilarious. You guys are great.
They get it.
Yeah, they get it. And keep an eye out on my channel. I'm going to be leaking all of Trigger's content a day early.
And claiming it for your own.
On Patreon.
Yeah, subscribe to my Patreon for early access to Trigger's content. I'm just kidding.
All right,
no
guys.
ads.
Yeah, no ads. All right, guys. Take it easy. Thank you very, very much, Simgii, and again, Steven. We'll see you guys on another stream, for sure. Summit stream next week. So